You are now listening to the voice of horror.
Lock your doors, bolt your windows, and turn off the lights. Make sure the kids are safe at home, cause you're headed to the Night Watch Zone.
Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready to rock and roll. Halloween 1978, the great debates. We've come to that point, guys. We've come to that point. And of course, can't do this alone. Coriander's with me, of course. We got Eric and we got Rachel. And this will be the final panel.
Ooh.
And then
All right.
we're going to rank this franchise the community way, the scoring way, which I think is going to be a lot of surprises. So I can't wait till we have our reveal party. For you guys in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. A blanket hello to all of you guys. We appreciate the support. Really means a lot. Just to say hey to a few folks. We got RJ. What's up? Saying this is the best one. Of course, we got the general ready to rock and roll in the chat. Her favorite movie. We got Paula and we got Scott. Hey, Scott, how's it going? Good to have you here. The historian, aka the wig master, is in the house. What's up, Julie? Gave a shout out to you, Julie, in the Halloween 2 video because I had to talk about Jamie Lee's wig. So, and speaking of which, Julie has a channel member anniversary.
Very nice.
1 year. Wow, man, that's crazy. It's been a year. Oh my gosh. And she's got an emoji like, ooh. That's cool. Thank you so much, Julie. Seriously, you've been just so awesome helping us out, just being such a great supporter and friend. And like I always say, you remember stuff that even I forget, which shows how much you not only watch the content, but you really pay attention to details. And Eric, you know how that is as a content creator, and you as well, Rachel. It's like that really says a lot. It's like, bro, you're like remembering what I'm saying, man. I got to make sure I'm on point, But thank you, Julie. Much appreciated. Spoof is in the house. All right. Val's got the link up already for our whole series of the Halloween debates. It's been a lot of fun. This is the final movie that we are going to be scoring and can't wait to see what happens. Keith, what's up? What's up? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. We got Danielle in the house. We got Melissa in the house. And Michael is in the house. What's up, man? Michael Traps in himself. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well, brother. Benjamin, what's going on? All right. Val saying good evening to the wonderful panel of people. They truly are. They truly are. Yeah. Gene, what's up? Oasis, we got a lot of new folks in here. Kay is in the house. All right. I hope you guys are all going to enjoy this. This should be a lot of fun. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps us out. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be scoring Halloween 78 the way that we scored all the other films in the franchise. We've got 10 categories, and they're going to be scored. The scoring is 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the best. Okay. And we can use 0.5s. So you can go 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. That's perfectly fine. Um, what else? What else? We will have 2 categories that the wheel might select that will be talking categories. So we'll see if it gets that. But this is really fun because the wheel is random, and we've
Mhm.
already seen in multiple streams, sometimes that can work to the advantage of the movie, and sometimes it can work to the disadvantage. So at the end of the day, I think it's going to even everything out. Okay. For you guys that have not seen any of these streams, let's explain what those categories are. I believe there's a possible of 15. The wheel is going to pick 10. Okay, those are what we're going to score, only 10 out of these possibles. So let's go through what we have available. Let me pull this up for you guys. And hey, Philip, what's going on? Good to have you here. Alan as well. Good to have you guys in the chat. So the possible categories, we've got the directing, Michael Myers himself, the kills, the story. The best scene and the worst scene are going to be 2 categories in which we're just going to talk. We're going to talk about those, give you guys our ideas on what we think is the best or worst scene. Those will not be scored, those 2.
Okay.
The other ones are possibles: the final girl, the characters, the sound design, the mask, of course, the cinematography, the mythology, the atmosphere, and the it factor. The it factor. Okay, so those are the categories that we have. For you guys in the chat, let us know what you think. Score along with us. We won't be able to get to everyone's comment and or score. But if you do send in a super chat, we will make sure not only to get to it, but we'll make sure to answer any question you may have as well. For you guys in the chat, which includes Val and Julie, if you guys are at our movie fanatics level or higher, we're actually going to take your score and add it to the official. Okay. So we're going to add it to the official. Now, the way we're going to do this is just put your score up if you'd want it. um, if I, for some reason, miss it, meaning I don't say it, say that I took it, feel free to remind me. Otherwise, I'll assume that maybe you didn't want to score that particular category. Okay, I think we're ready. I feel pretty good about this. It's 78, man. This is the final one. Coriander,
Yeah.
any any thoughts on how this might go? This is a movie that you said you wanted to be a part of this panel.
I
Anything?
mean, this is the very first, Michael Myers film. You're introduced to him and Laurie, and this is the best one.
Okay.
Some people just may disagree with that, but I mean, I don't know. It should be interesting.
It
I don't
should.
know. Because in my opinion, it should be high. But
Well, we'll see.
who
Based on
knows?
the categories, you never know.
Exactly.
And
I
let
don't
me
know.
real quick,
So,
and Eric, does her audio sound like it's chopped?
It sounds like
mine?
Coriander's a little choppy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I'm not sure if that's
I'll
maybe
come
something
back.
in the background. Okay. All right. So here is our wheel. We've got all of these categories. The wheel will select them. As we before we start, we got a super chat coming in the Reverend Force. Wow. Rachel, you always have someone in the chat messing with you. Saying Rachel better have all 5s. If not, the shape is always in the shadows. Wow. The pressure. Oh my gosh.
Too disappointed, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate that too. It helps us out. Definitely allows us
Mhm.
to do all these streams that we do. Last week was maybe a record. It was like every night I was streaming. It was great. Elm Street, what's going on? Good to see you as well. Okay, let's get ready to spin this wheel. Eric, we're
Yes,
going to
sir.
start off with you. You're going to lead this, and then we're going to just go around the panel and see what we think. So here we go. First category to get is ooh, 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 ooh. Wow, it's right on the edge. All right. The kills. Okay, so we're talking about the kills in the film, and you know what you think of them, how they were completed, how they were shot, and so forth. So the score is 1 to 5. Tell me what you think about the kills and what's your score for it.
Uh, I think a solid 4 overall for kills.
Okay.
I like how John Carpenter didn't have that huge of a budget. There isn't that much blood, and it's not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
We get some. Michael likes to use his hands. It's not necessarily just hack and slash.
Right.
And to me, that I'm more of a fan when it comes to slasher movies when it's not just stabbing someone with a knife. Sometimes you use your hands. It sounds funny, but it kind of cleanses the palate from like all that type of stuff.
Right.
So I like how he takes Linda out. I like how he takes Annie out, especially in the car, because you see like her breath on the windows, so that
Yeah.
adds to the tension. Um, and then of course we got Judith in the very beginning that set it all up. So that
Mm-hmm.
POV shot while wearing the mask was
Mm.
really really creative. And Bob's death is iconic in horror, just him pinned up against the wall, and then of course that causes Michael to do the iconic head tilt that we've seen so many people do and imitate.
Yeah.
So
Everybody has, even Jason.
Jason's done it. You and me are wrestling fans. The Undertaker and Kane have done it.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yep. And of course, as you know, The
mhm.
Undertaker took a lot
Oh
from
yeah,
Michael Myers,
oh yeah.
obviously the
That's for the
sit up
sit
and
up.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
crazy.
yep,
All
solid
right.
4.
Okay. We got a 4. Okay. Rachel, how about you?
Agree with a lot of what Eric said. I think the limited budget really like makes it so that the kills are so effective. I mean, I love a good slasher. I love a good kill that has a lot of blood and guts, as long
Hmm.
as it suits the movie. But I think for this movie, because this movie is so every time I watch this movie, I think of the word clean, which I know sounds really odd, but it is. It's very
Yeah.
Hmm.
clean. So I think
Right.
having very clean kills, it fits that. But as Eric was pointing out, they are very effective. Michael using his hands, Annie's death in particular, I think, is a very, very good one. Just the
Mm-hmm.
shock of him coming out of the back of the car, and like you said, the breath in the on the windshield, and all of that is just fantastic. And I am a huge fan of the opening kill. I think that
Yeah.
beautiful slow panning shot all the way up to Judith's room, the point of view shot through the mask. It's all just done so well. And it really shows how you can make a still an effectively scary horror movie with kills that have an impact without throwing a whole lot of blood and guts around, which again,
Hmm.
I'm not opposed to if it suits the movie, but
Mm-hmm.
it shows that you can still be scary, you can still have that impact. Like you said, Bob's death is so iconic, and Michael's head
Mm.
tilt, and just everything about that, so good. And I think the minimalism of the kills really adds to that feeling of Michael creeping around in the shadows, being the boogeyman. He's not the
Hmm.
big ghost face killer who's leaving bodies and guts and everything lying around. He's just the boogeyman who slides in and does his work and slides out even without you noticing. So I think I'll go with 4.5 for this. I can't go
Okay.
quite with 5 because there are some other movies that I think the kills are just a little bit more creative and a little bit better. But
Mm-hmm.
for this movie and what this movie is and the tone of it and the feel of it, these kills are so effective. So 4.5 for me for the kills.
Oh, okay. We got a 4.5 there. Okay. So, Coriander, how about you? What do you think of the kills in this movie, how they're pulled off and so forth? And what's the score that you want to give it?
So, like, is 5 the highest? Is that
5
what
is
I've
the
heard?
highest. 1's the lowest.
Okay.
5 is the absolute highest.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Um, I mean, yeah, for the kills, just like with Texas Chainsaw, you didn't need much gore. And with this movie, you don't either. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
um, does it take away from it? I mean, I don't think so. Like, um, but if there was blood and guts in it and we were used to that, then hey, it would suit the movie. But where it isn't, it would be out of place. So, but I
Mm-hmm.
still think they're effective. And yeah, I don't know if I want to give them a 5. So yeah, I'll do a 4.5.
Okay. We got a 4.5. All right. And it still seems like there's a crackle there, right, Eric?
A little bit.
a little bit of a
Okay.
crackle with coriander,
I
but I
don't.
can
I
still
don't.
hear her. But yeah, it's a
Okay.
little crackly.
Yeah, I don't know what that
Do I
is.
s- Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's just like a little bit of crackle when you talk. I don't know if it's like the mic or if you're near something that's making noise or something. I don't know. But it's noticeable. Like, and usually you don't have that. I don't know if it's maybe a cord. But let me go through my score real quick. This movie is so lean, right? There's no wasted time. You know, it's funny because I just had my video for Halloween 2 that came out today, which by the way, if you haven't seen it, please check it out. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people seem to enjoy it. And one of the things that I learned and that I had researched for that video was that 78 was so lean that Carpenter actually added scenes for the TV version. And it was really interesting to hear about that's how lean, because it wasn't long enough for
Mhm.
TV. You know what I mean? Um, but when I watch it, it doesn't feel like a short movie. It doesn't feel like a long movie either. It just feels like it just is comfortable. You know, it's like boom, it's great. The kills are so iconic, like you guys said, the Bob kill. Judith's scene, let me just go to Judith's kill for a second. That opening, wow. I mean, when you first see it, you don't understand nothing. You're like, what's going on here? And the way it happens, the shock, Dean Cundy, which, we'll probably get to that if the wheel chooses it. But
Mhm.
it's so amazing. And Sandy Johnson, who we had the pleasure of interviewing, talked about how when she was going to be killed, she had no clue when they were going to come up the stairs behind her. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
she literally was just sitting there, brushing her hair, going la di da. So, just little things, like you said, Eric, the limitations of budget
Mhm.
worked to the advantage of this film in so many ways. And I think it did for the kills as well. I'm going to go with a 4.5. I think it's great stuff. The Annie kill, the Linda kill. I mean, come on, guys. This is just great stuff. It really, really is. I think these kills are so well done. They'd still be iconic today, even without the blood and gore. You know what I mean? I really, really do. So, okay. So I've got a 4.5 as well. In the chat, just to check with these guys, we've got Polar in the house. What's up? Good to have you, Polar. Hope you're doing well. We're having fun here talking about 78, man. 78. No lip gloss in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Um, Oasis saying the bloodless kills relates back to the idea of the movie being a primal fable. Well said. Well said. And Val coming down with her official score. Thank you so much, Val. Is going with 5. The build up to the kills, creating all the tension, scary without all the blood and gore. The POV kill is a masterpiece. Well said. I totally agree. So we've got a 5. And Nightfall, also with a channel member anniversary.
Nice.
Thank you so much, man. 14 months and going on strong. Much appreciated. Saying 78, the best of all time. Good evening, fam. Yeah, there you go. Thanks so much, man. We appreciate you. And thank you
Mhm.
for being here too. Scott saying I'd say 4 is fair for the kills, especially for the times. Okay. All right. Let's see. And Maze in the house too. Nightfall is going to be official as well. There's one of our movie fanatics channel members saying kills a 5. This was 1978, ahead of its time. Okay, we got you down, man. We got you down. And Zeducation is going with a 5. Elm Street as well. We're going to go official. Thank you so much for being here as well, man. And Elm Street's Last Brat is giving Halloween a 5. That's awesome, man. Love it.
Nice.
There's no lying here. There's never been any lying. Okay, so we've got you down officially as well. Okay, guys. Spoof going with a 5. Very, very cool. Thank you so much, Julie, for putting the link in for my newest video. I really appreciate that, and hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, let's go to our next kill. And by the way, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps us out. Okay, so Rachel, you're going to be leading this one. Let's see what the wheel chooses. Ooh, wow. All right. The directing Okay, so we're going with the directing.
We could
What-
be here till tomorrow.
so,
Dangerous.
so John Carpenter, what do you think of what he did as a director for this film, and what's the score you want to give him?
I mean, oh, this film is amazing. Every time I watch it, I am just amazed at just how, like you said, lean it is, how clean everything is.
Mhm.
The camera work, obviously, I'm really hoping at some point we'll get to talk about cinematography because it is amazing. But I also think the performances that he coaxes out of his actors, like Jamie Lee Curtis, it was very, very young. I think this was her first role, and she's amazing. The supporting characters are great. Of course, Donald Pleasance is fantastic, but I just think all of the directing to all of the characters are so good. Everything about this movie just flows so seamlessly. Like you said, Night, when you watch it, it doesn't feel like a long movie. It doesn't feel like a short movie. It just feels like a perfect time. You just
Yeah.
watch it and the movie just flows. There's like this absolute just beautiful fluidity to the entire movie. It looks so gorgeous. I think he does this thing, Carpenter, where even the daylight shots he manages to make creepy. That scene outside the school where the
Yeah.
kids are teasing Tommy and then he runs smack bam into Michael, and then that slow pan as he's following the car. It's broad daylight and it's still so creepy and just so many effective shots. I love the use of light and shadow in this movie, and I feel like modern movies have really lost this. The depth of some of those shadows and some of those shots, obviously, Michael appearing behind Laurie at the top of the staircase is one of the most iconic shots. But I was
Yeah.
noticing even earlier shots, like Annie in the kitchen when Michael is hanging around outside the house. The way
Mhm.
they film the back door opening, they film her going out to the garage. Like everything about that is so, so good. Like we said, the kills are so effective. I want to go back to that scene of Annie in the car because I really do think that is one of the most effective kills. The whole sequence of it, the way she's so casually just whistling, just going about her business, walking back and forth, and then she
Mhm.
gets to the car, and the way the camera moves from inside the car, so you're really up close with and intimate with the kill, and it makes you uncomfortable, and then it takes you outside and removes you from it. It's just such an immersive experience, this film. I always get so completely sucked into it. So if I could give it higher than a 5, I would give this like 10 out of 5 if I could, but since
But
I
we can't.
can't, definitely 5 out of 5 because it is just amazing.
Let
I'll
me
stop
just say
myself here so that other people can talk.
let me
But like
just
I
say
said, I could.
something. People always say that if I could go higher, if I could go lower, people in the chat, it's only 1 to 5, guys.
I
Make it
know,
easy for me
I
because
know.
I'm keeping the score for all of this. Okay, no, that's good. So we
5
got
out
a
of 5.
5. All right, Coriander, how about you? What do you think about what Carpenter did?
Um, I mean, yeah, his directing is great. There's really not too much I could say and who am I to say, you suck. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna go 4.5. Yeah,
Okay, 4.5.
yeah.
Okay. Eric, how about you?
Yeah, he's an amazing director regardless, but this is definitely one of his best directing jobs. I'll give him a 4.5 solid. A lot of the stuff that Rachel said is great, like the up close and personal stuff. But what I like about him, he also the performances. What I like about him is he was a director that was really good at taking suggestions from his actors. We
Yes.
all know the story, Donald Pleasance. He had like 2 or 3 different ways he's going to look at Michael after he fell from the balcony.
Yes.
And he chose the one, what was it? Loomis said he was given the thought of, I knew he'd be gone type of thing. He didn't
Mhm.
have to. He didn't have to take that idea. He could have just been like, just shut up, look over there, give a reaction, and I'm going to put it in the film.
Yeah.
That
Agreed.
also makes a great director. It's not just pulling great performances out of your actors, your workers, but also listening to them because without them, you have no movie. So
Mhm.
that's what shows how great of a director he is. And again, the reason why I'm not giving it a 5 is just little piddly shit. Sometimes that little nitpicks I have with I love Judas' death, but then that one side when he's looking at the wall and you still see the knife come down, it's a
Mhm.
nitpick. You know what I mean? I think he should have just kind of focused on her. But again, like Coriander says, who am I to say anything? I haven't directed a freaking movie, but this is the one that pretty much started it all, and he did a fantastic job regardless.
Okay. All right. So we're going with a 4.5 for you. All right.
Sure.
For me, this is just such a great film. It just shows what you can do with so little. But he's so good at setting up his actors, setting up the shots, and obviously then he passes the baton to Dean Cundey as well. But John, he's just good. He's great, I should say. I mean, he's not good, he's great. In this film, it just shows that all throughout it, the things that he put together for Loomis, who literally leapt off the page, and of course, that's Donald, right? But it had to start from somewhere, and that's where John came in. Deborah Hill kind of worked on the characterization of the babysitters, and the ladies, so to speak. But John, working on a lot of the mythology of Michael. What is Michael? The primal force, that force of nature, as Buster would say, the killer shark. That was John, and so I just think that he was able to craft a really scary movie that didn't have to. And it's so funny we're talking about this because I was talking opposite about Halloween 2, which obviously they upped the gore because of
Mhm.
how the state of horror was changing. But for this one, he just said, "Hey, I want to make a movie where the scares are built out of tension." And it was absolutely perfect. So I got to go with a 5, man. I just got to go with a 5. There's no lying. It's just wonderful directing. Okay, in the chat, just to catch up with these guys, Nightfall is coming in with a 5 for directing. It flows so smooth, best paced film of the series, along with 2018. The scenery, the placement of the kills, everything about this movie is a home run. All right. Elm Street is a big 5. There we go. Okay. Julie is also going with a 5. All right. And Julie, let me know if you wanted to score or kills. And if you do, let me know what that score is, because we've got so many people in the chat. It's hard to keep track. But I don't know if I missed that, if you had put down a score for kills. Okay. Val for directing is saying 5. John Carpenter hit this one out of the park. He was able to draw you into the movie and be invested in the characters. Even though you were scared, you couldn't wait for the next moment. Well said. Well said. So we're going to put you down for 5 as well. We got the Reverend Force coming in again. $2 super chat. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Saying, yes, Rachel, continue the 5s. Keep them going. With there you go. All right, let's do a quick super chat clip. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. It helps us a lot. And this is for your super chats. And hey, Eric,
Oh,
sometimes see, now you're here and the kill's not here. But
yeah.
sometimes things can happen and you need someone to put you in your place. And this is what it might sound like if you need to be put in your place.
It is not in the file. It is not.
Oh,
Are you high?
There you go. All right.
I'll tell you, those virtual reality things, they're no joke. I once rode those roller coaster ones, and I didn't know what to do with myself. They're very dangerous.
There you go. Right? Yep, absolutely. And Val is reminding people, please hit the like button if you haven't already. We would really appreciate that. We got 47 people watching now at 54 people and only 36 likes. So please give a like. And Val, actually, Julie, if you could kind of keep an update on that, that would be fantastic. Okay, Philip also going with a 5 for directing. Just want to make sure I catch some of you guys here. Paul is going with a 5. Gina's heading out. Have a good night, Gina. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Across the pond, you're all right. Okay, let's go to our next category. Coriander, you're going to be starting this one. So let's remove directing and let's see what the wheel gives us. Ooh. Yay, baby. All right. Mythology. Okay, so when we talk about mythology, what has been set up in this movie as far as, the setting, Michael, what he is, and is that effective? Obviously, when we did the sequels, part of the question was, how true it was to the mythology, and if it was different, did that work? This being the first film, just tell me
Yep.
what you think of the setup of this mythology of Michael, and what do you think the score should be?
Okay. So this right here, it's perfect, okay, because you don't know much about Michael, really nothing. Nothing. You don't know anything about his family. You don't know, it looks like he lives in, a nice neighborhood. His sister,
Mhm.
from what you see, looks like an okay girl, so I love the mythology. Lori comes along, and who the hell is she to him? I
Mhm.
don't know. You don't know. They don't say.
Mhm.
So I like that. I'm going to give mythology a 5. And, just because the whole brother sister thing is ridiculous. I hate it. I never liked it. And yeah, like part 2 is okay. I can take it or leave it. Um, but yeah, man, that's all I have to
Okay.
say about that.
All right. Okay. Eric, how about you?
I'm gonna give this a solid 4 itself because again, like you said, it's just the start of the mythology,
Mhm.
and in my opinion, I think the mythology gets worse as the movies go on,
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
because
we're
we're
talking about
pulling
this
in.
movie, Eric.
I know.
This
Well, that's why
movie.
I'm saying. That's why I'm saying this one gets a 4 because it gets worse. Trust me.
Uh,
I like how it's just a honestly, if you look at it, it's a very disturbed kid. For all we know, you know what I mean. In this movie, it's just a very disturbed kid, and
Right.
the fact that he's so young is what makes it even air quotes when I say the word worse for everyone
Yes.
involved. And again, it's like what caused him to do that. And even though I'm a sucker, I like the backstory and the explanation. The way it's handled here works really well. So that's why I'm
Mhm.
giving it a solid 4.
Okay. All right. Rachel, how about you?
Agree with a lot of what Coriander was saying. This is for me the best one because we haven't built on it, and I'm with Eric. The mythology in this franchise, as much as I love it, it just gets worse and worse. I mean, first we have the brother sister, then we have the niece, then we have the cult, then we have the thorn, then we have the weird dudes following him around. Mind, controlling him. It just gets out of control. Whereas
Mhm.
in this, I mean, I love the premise that comes from the original title, the babysitter murders. Like just the fact that
Right.
it's just this guy in a town stalking teenagers. And I absolutely love the whole boogeyman premise. The idea of just this
Yes.
really scary thing, this shape just haunting you. And I remember years ago when my friend Keith and I reviewed this movie, he kept talking about how Loomis is really good at hyping Michael up, almost like a WWE kind of hype man. He's always, the blackest eyes, there's no soul there, so evil. But he does such a good job of it that Michael becomes this really terrifying being, even though we know nothing about him. And depending on the movie, I do love a good backstory if it's done well. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it was needed for this movie. I think this movie being so lean and so simple, it works best when Michael is just the boogeyman and you don't
Mhm.
anything about him, except for, like Coriander said, it looks like he maybe came from a nice family with a nice sister and maybe normal parents. We don't really know. But then he grew up to be this boogeyman, and he's just so terrifying. And I think that works best. So for this movie, mythology, definitely a 5.
Okay. All right. All right. For me, this movie is so interesting in what they're trying to present because there's so much mystery around Michael, but yet we have Loomis as our POV. Loomis is Van Helsing. Okay. And like you said, Rachel, you guys are right. You and Keith are right. He's like, and we say it here, he's the greatest hype man of all time. Maybe next to Troutman and Rambo. They kind of go back and forth. But we start to drink the Kool-Aid, and he becomes that mythical supernatural figure, right? But everything around him as a man is so creepy. Like you said, Eric, as a little boy, why'd he do
Mm-hmm.
that?
Right.
He didn't have a broken home from what we see, right? And he just did it. When they saw him outside, the look on his face so blank. What's going on there? We hear the stories of what Loomis says at Smith's Grove. looking at the wall, looking past the wall, all those types of things. And it's just scary stuff without a lot of like overindulgence of the gore and the blood and so forth, which is fine. And I like that stuff as much as anyone, and there's other franchises that really dive into that and it's fine. But for this film, it really is creepy because you don't understand why he's doing what he's doing. You don't understand how he can do what he's doing. That Bob kill is crazy, right? The way he lifts him up. I mean, just little things like that that are just sprinkled into the film. So mythology for me, I gotta also go with a 5. It's fantastic. Put it this way: the mythology is so good in this film that it tried to be copied so much, even in its own franchise, but you just couldn't do it. Once Pandora's box was opened, it was over. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's just so well done, and I think it's fantastic. Okay, real quick in the chat, Elm Street is coming in with a 5, saying mythology put Haddonfield on the map. 5 all the way. Okay, all right. Very, very cool. Paul is saying she's going with a 5. And Mayanne is putting the links in the chat for Rachel's channel and Eric's channel. Make sure you guys check them out, subscribe to them, support them. We really would appreciate that. These guys are family, so definitely check them out. The great content creators. And thank you, man, for doing that. And Val and Julie, all of you guys that have been doing links. Val's going with a 5 for mythology. The boogeyman lurking in the shadows, stalking his victims with no reason why. The shape just is perfection. Well said. That was pretty poetic, Val. I like that. That's great. Nightfall coming in with his official score. Mythology is a 5. Kid kills his sister, doesn't speak 15 years, breaks out, returns home. Loomis describing him creates the mythology. Michael's the boogeyman. It's the best mythology that you can create. All right, man. Very, very cool. We've got you down officially as well. And Julie is coming in. Mythology is a 5. So mysterious. And we've got the Michael emojis. What's up? That's great. All right, we've got you down officially as well. Alan saying 3. We're going with a 3. It was just a movie about killing some babysitters. That's all it was. Well, here's my thing. There's a lot of movies about that. A lot copied that. And some didn't. It's not that everybody copied it, but I just think that this one did it in a way where it was just so amazing. But we got you for 3. We've got you for 3.
Not only that, but it gave us Michael. It brought forth one of the most iconic slashers, from this era. So
Yeah, well, good point.
yeah.
Good point. Yeah. Spoof is going with a 5. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that was the thing that was really interesting because in horror movies and watching horror movies since I was a kid in the 80s, like when you have a character like Loomis, especially, we talked a little bit about that. He made such a difference. Even Friday the 13th, and I love Friday the 13th. That's my favorite horror franchise. It doesn't have a Loomis. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that soul, that person that you kind of latch on and so
We have
forth.
Crazy Ralph, who's
Crazy Ralph is not
elusive.
Loomis.
But
Come
dude,
on,
come
man.
on, he still almost does the same thing. It's a death curse,
Yeah,
Go
okay.
home.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to the wheel. I'll be starting this one off. Let's see what we get. There it is. There it is. Listen, I'm going to be pretty quick. About this. First of all, and we all know Dean Cundy's amazing, from things like Halloween to Jurassic Park. I mean, the guy has just had, he's a legend. The opening scene alone, using the Steadicam, being innovative in that sense. Again, it's been copied countless times. I love the cinematography in this film. I could go through so many scenes, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you it's a 5, and there's not even a question about it. That's how quick I'm going to throw that out there. Eric, how about you? What do you think about the cinematography?
How many times have you and I discussed Dean Cundy on this channel? Not
That's
even
right.
just discussing Halloween. I'd have to give this one a 5, just because not just the great camera shots he came up with, but he makes you feel like it's fall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way it looks. You have that when they're we've all walked home from school during October. You feel that little chill just looking at
Hmm.
them with the leaves and just the way the sun kind of hits them and stuff. And then he's just he's a master of his craft, plain and simple.
Hmm.
We have all the iconic scenes that we've all talked about to death, but he's a 5, no doubt.
Okay. All right. Rachel, how about you?
A 10 out of 5. Let me give this like 5.5 or 6. It's so good. I mean, you guys have covered it. This movie is beautiful. It's beautiful to watch, which is weird because it's a horror movie, but it's just
Yeah.
all of those slow tracking shots, all of those beautiful outside shots. Like Eric said, it feels autumny. Unfortunately, here in Australia, autumn is not in October, which really sucks. But I totally get, getting those kind of autumn vibes. I would say this is one of the most Halloweeny Halloween movies. Some of the other ones in the franchise, they don't have that kind of Halloween feel. And
Right.
yeah, I just love so many of the shots. Like you said, the opening scene, all the outside scenes. One of my favorite shots in the movie is not even that impactful of a shot, but it's the one where Annie and Laurie are walking home and Michael appears behind the hedge. Just the
Hmm.
way that the camera works and the way it slowly moves towards him, and then Annie going to, check out behind the hedge. Everything is so tense and so
Hmm.
well filmed and just so tight and clean. And yeah, 5 out of 5, 100%. But if I could, I'd give it like 100 out of 5. It's just so
All
good.
right. All right. Coriander, how about
Definitely
you?
5.
I think she's a fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's well shot. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say everything everybody else already said, because y'all have said, some good points. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to go with a 5. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. In the chat to catch up with these guys, Julie is going with a 5. Oh my God, the blue lighting at night and the way the mask is lit. Sheesh. Yeah, the mask looks
Absolutely.
fantastic. And
Hmm.
there's a lot to that. And we heard a lot about that with David Gordon Green's trilogy, how he said they would spend, you know, an hour, 2 hours just to set up a single shot of a few seconds of Michael because they wanted that mask to look just right in the lighting. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine what that was like in 78, especially when you don't have a lot of money and you're up against the clock. So shout out to those guys. Nightfall coming in. Cinematography is a 5. Okay, we're going to put you down officially as well, man. Thank you so much for that. Let's see who else in the chat. Zed's education. You're all right, man. Spoof going with a 5. Philip going with a 5. Let's see. We got Julie saying 5 out of 5. Very Halloweeny. Paula going with a 5. Scott saying no question. It's a 5. All right. Val coming in with her official score, saying cinematography is a 5. The use of lighting, the POV shot, plus all the other reasons given. Okay, we've got you down officially as well. Alan is going with a 5. Elm Street saying definitely a 5. Wow, man. This can I just say something? And Eric, you've been on a couple of these,
Hmm.
Rachel as well. This might be the first time well, yeah, it might be the first time it's unanimous. And we've got 8 scores, and they're all 5. So,
Hmm.
that might be the first time out of all these films. So, um, shout out to you guys, man. Doom is
I,
in the
I
house.
think this category and this film definitely deserves like consistent 5s for the
Yeah.
cinematography in this film. If we didn't get it, I would have been surprised.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Okay. Let's go to our next category. We're gonna remove cinematography. Eric, you're gonna start this one. Let's
Okay.
see what the wheel chooses for our 5th category. But we won't get there yet. All right, best scene. This will not be a scored category. So this is what we're going to do, guys. We're going to go through this real quick. Just tell me what's your best scene of this film or favorite scene. Eric, we're going to start with you.
Well, I'm glad that you said favorite scene because there is a difference. It's the
Hmm.
scene where it's pre-Haddonfield and all the inmates are walking around the
Mm.
outside of the sanitarium. The way that it looks, you have that creepy feeling already. I mean, we already got set up that this isn't going to be a fun ride with what we got in the beginning with what happened with little Michael. But
Hmm.
now we see where he's been all this time, and now they're all let loose. How did
Hmm.
they get out? But that's the way it looks. What I mean, just the lighting. With it's basically just the headlights of the car shining on them in the dark. That's
Yep.
just plain spooky. No matter what type of slasher movie or horror movie in general, that's scary, and that's again setting the tone that pretty much we have no idea where this story is going to take us, and just the way
Hmm.
that Pleasance reacts, and I can't think of the actress who plays the nurse,
Marion Chambers.
the way that they're reacting and kind of arguing with each other, you know what I
Yep.
mean? And they're not arguing with each other because they're mad at each other, just because they want to know what the fuck is going on, you know what I mean?
Right.
And those performances help add to the creepiness of just how did they get out? And if with what we saw, you could put two and two together with Michael doing what he did in the beginning. They're not going to be able to find him, type of thing. He's going to be the one
Hmm.
getting out there. So that's my favorite scene.
All right, Rachel. Real quick, what's your favorite?
So many. I could literally say the whole film. It might sound cliched, but I'm going with that opening scene. That opening scene is so good. I think it's a microcosm of the rest of the film. Just the way that it's filmed, that beautiful slow shot, and then that shock at the end, the Michael, and then them pulling the mask off and just seeing that. When I watched it with my sister recently, she's like, "Oh my god, he's so tiny. He looks like a little angel." I'm like, "Yeah, kind of the point. Like you want to
Right.
see this little cherub boy standing with this massive knife in his hand." So yeah, I just think that scene so beautifully sets up the rest of the movie, gives you the great, the feel, the tone, exactly what you're going to expect from Michael, and it gives you that surprise which we get for the rest of the film. So even though I could list practically any scene in this film, I'll go with that opening shot because it is just so effective.
All right, Corey. You guys, Corey, how about you?
Um, the best scene. There's so many. I mean, and to
Just
have to
one.
choose, I know. I think one of my favorite ones is when he Lori's I can't remember if she's in the hallway or whatever, and Michael comes out of the shadows and you
Yep.
just all of a sudden see him. I
Hmm.
think that's probably one of the
Mm.
best scenes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. For me, there's a lot. That actually is a great scene. I think that to me is probably one of the most, as far as atmosphere and the cinematography, I would pick that one. But if I was to pick a favorite scene, it's got to be the sit up. At that point, you thought that she did what she had to do, right? She was so courageous, trying to save the kids, putting them above her, which was great. So now, as a final girl, she's elevated. She's in the closet with nowhere to go. She finds a way out of that. It's crazy. When I first watched it, I was thinking, yeah, coat hanger, bro. It's not plastic. Use it. And it's great. You think that she has won. She's still alone. Loomis isn't there. When he sits up and then does the turn towards her, it was like, oh my God. And because she has no idea, her back is turned to Michael.
Hmm.
Wow. Talk about going from 0 to 100, because now you're thinking, or at least I'm thinking, he's going to be pissed off, man. He's going to come for her, and she's not going to be able to do anything. So I've got to go with that one. Okay. In the chat too, Val's going with the Bob kill. Okay. Interesting. That's a good one though. Let's see. I just want to make sure I catch up to everyone if I can. Plant-based is in the house. What's going on? The chase scene always gets me so tense. Very, very true. Keith going so many, but I'll go with the opening. Set the mood so well. A great twist opening too. That's a great point. It is a great twist because you don't expect to see that little kid, right? Very, very well said. Okay, let's try this again, Eric. Let's see what we get for a scored category. You'll be starting us off.
Okay.
And there it is. There it is. Okay, the atmosphere. Okay, so when we're talking about the atmosphere of the film, A to Z, how it feels to you, and what's your score, man?
Oh, I've said it 100 times in 100 videos on this channel. I'm giving this a 5 because when you're making a horror movie, if you can make the environment a character itself, you get bonus points for that. And like I just said a couple categories ago, with you feel cold when they're just walking home from school. You get that chill, even when Michael's not on screen. But like I also said with my favorite scene, you have the creepy atmosphere with just them out in the yard. They're all loose,
Right.
and they do they do so much with so little. It's just like a simple shot of Michael across the street, power walking to get against to come get Lori. That helps. Like you're already tense, especially if this is the first time you've seen this movie and you know nothing about the sequels, because there are those people out there that have avoided this movie for a long time. You know what I
Right.
mean?
That's
And
right.
that's just one of those scenes that if you don't know what happens next, you don't know if she's going to make it, and you feel that intensity when he's literally, it's just, lack of a better term, a man walking across the street. But the way you feel is, time's running out because she can't get the keys, she can't get the door unlocked, and Loomis obviously helps the atmosphere because he builds up how like we said with Troutman, builds up Rambo. Loomis builds up Michael, and then just the finale. We don't know if she's going to make it, and then that just adds the intensity to it. So, hands down a 5.
Okay. All right. Rachel, how about you?
Totally agree with everything Eric's saying. It is absolutely a 5. Everything about this film is so unsettling, and what I really, really love is a lot of the shots used are either point of view shots or they're people. It's almost voyeuristic, it's people looking out of windows, looking into windows, watching
Hmm.
across the street, like Eric mentioned, just that shot of Michael just walking across the street. And I always love the shot of Tommy looking out the window and seeing Michael carrying Annie. It's a
Hmm.
Yeah.
very, very quiet shot. There's not that much music. The soundscape is really unsettling, and you just feel the terror. And I think that that seeps into the whole movie. I was lucky enough to see this in the cinema a couple of Halloweens ago, and just watching this in the cinema, in a dark cinema, up on a big screen was one of my favorite horror movie experiences in a cinema, because it was just so atmospheric, and
Mm.
it's right there from the start of the movie to the end. It doesn't let up. You have that beautiful, like we've talked about, that beautiful fall feel, that beautiful Halloweeny feel, and just that feeling of being very unsettled, and Loomis popping in and out to tell you about his blackest eyes and his no soul, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, this guy is going to come and kill us all. So yes, definitely a 5 out of 5 for atmosphere. One of, I think, the best horror slasher movies for atmosphere out
You just
there.
brought up a great
Okay.
point. How with the POV stuff, it's very voyeuristic. Like
Yeah.
the scene where Annie's vulnerable enough. She's caught in that window.
Hmm.
She's not wearing any pants, so though she's already vulnerable, and just the
Mm,
way Carpenter focuses on her, he's not doing it to be a pervert because it's a woman
no,
with no pants on.
Right.
He's doing
Right.
it to make it unsettling. He's doing it because
mm,
is that Michael watching her? You know what I mean?
Right.
Type of
Because you
thing.
don't
And
know.
exactly. So that
absolutely.
adds to the atmosphere of, okay, she's very defenseless now. You know what I mean? And
Right.
the removal of the clothes always shows how the woman is even more defenseless in these type of movies, and it really hits.
And he could have killed her there, but he didn't. So
Right.
that set up her actual
Mhm.
death because again, you were uncertain about a lot of things. So
Hmm.
well said. Coriander, how about you for atmosphere?
Yeah, but it's really good. No, I'm definitely gonna have to give it a 5.
Okay. All right. For me, everything that's been said is absolutely, I agree. It's fantastic, the atmosphere of this film. I think that's one of the strongest things about this film is that it really feels like Halloween. It really feels like somewhere that you've been. It feels cold. It feels like when the wind blows, you can feel that when he's walking across the street after Laurie, even though it's taking 80 years. But Carpenter wanted to pull that tension out of it. So the atmosphere is so thick. When gets in the house, you'd think you'd feel safe, but you don't. Even she
Hmm.
doesn't. She's looking around and oh crap, the door is open or the window, whatever, and it's like it's just so thick. The opening scene with Loomis and Marion Chambers, the atmosphere is so thick in this film, and it's just again, it's a credit to all of those involved in front of, but especially behind the camera to set that up. Because again, They made this look so good, and we're in California with palm trees. You got Robert Englund picking up the fake leaves and all that, but somehow it worked. It looks authentic. It's absolutely crazy. So I got to go with a 5, no doubt. Okay, in the chat, real quick, Julie says we're at 51 likes. Thank you, Julie. We appreciate that. Earl is in the house. What's up, Earl? Saying an all-time classic. Love this movie. Thanks for being here, man. Scott saying atmosphere is a 5 for every reason imaginable. And look who's in the house. It's our brother, the shape in the shadows. Coming in with a super chat. Thank you so much, brother. This will be an official score. You know you're all right with us. Saying this is definitely a big fat 5. Boom. There you go, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. And we appreciate you, man. We really, really do. Let's see. Julie is coming in officially with a 5 for atmosphere, saying, I will forgive the accidental palm tree. Yeah, there you go. And the accidental cigarette smoke. It is a couple little goofs in there, but the movie is so good. It just
The thing is,
works.
you don't really notice them unless you know of them and you're actually trying to physically point them out.
That's right.
You
It's
know
so
what I
In a
mean?
true.
palm tree.
I couldn't tell you.
Next
in
time
all-
I
in
watch,
all-
I'm
I
going to have
didn't
to
know
keep an
there
eye
was
out.
a palm
It's so
tree.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there
now
is.
I'm
In
There's
all
gonna
some,
have to
there's
honesty,
write
some,
it up.
yeah.
No,
there's
In
some
don't
all
tell
good.
me.
honesty, I
Look,
just
No
never
one's telling
noticed the
me.
palm trees.
yeah. Real
I
quick,
haven't either. Huh.
Zeducation saying, can we please do Halloween 4? I think you've already done one, but please can we do another? We have done one, Zeducation.
That was a good one.
Check out the playlist, man, because we're only doing them once because it was a lot of work for each of these streams, man. But it was a blast. Definitely check it out. And yeah, definitely check it out. Even if you have seen it, check it out again. I think, the thing about these streams, as with all streams that I try to do here, is have some fun with it in a way that the
Mhm.
conversation can be rewatched. It has rewatchability, just like Halloween 78. So that was a good little plug there. So definitely check out the playlist because I think all of these streams have been so much fun. They really, really have. Danielle is in the house. What's up, Danielle? Hope you're doing well. Plant Base is going with a 4.5. Val is officially coming in with a 5 for atmosphere. You felt 100% in that small Midwest town of Haddonfield and how you could feel the peace of the town being broken by this menacing boogeyman. Okay, so we're putting you down officially with a 5. Nightfall is going with a 5. This is crazy. Oh, this is great. Let's see. Elm Street saying the atmosphere is perfect. It felt like the town I grew up in, which made it all the more unsettling. Oh, that's
Ooh,
cool, man.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're going with a 5 there as well. Okay. Awesome. 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 Shape says, has Rachel been doing 5s? She kept her promise. I had faith in you. There you go. Earl going with a 5. Philip is going with a 5. Melissa's going with a 5. Okay. All right. And again, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps us out. We're at 59 people in the
Nice.
chat. Very, very cool. Okay. Let's go to our next category. The wheel is going to be choosing it for us. And Rachel, you'll be starting this one off. Let's see what we get. Wow. Okay. All right, man. This is so cool. Because you never know what it's going to land on.
Oh man.
Final
Nice.
girl. Rachel, we're talking about. I almost
Talk
want to
about
start this off, but I'm
Laurie
but
Strode.
I'm going to let you start it off. But we're going to go through this quick though. Laurie Strode, what do you think, and what's the score?
Laurie Strode is awesome. She is a 5 out of 5. That girl is so great. I mean, she starts out all demure and uncertain, but the way she looks after those kids. I mean, I noticed last
Mhm.
night that she makes a promise to Tommy that she's not going to let the boogeyman get him. And she keeps
Right.
that promise, you know?
Yeah.
And the fact that she's letting her friends just dump their babysitting charges on her to run off and have sex, and she's just like, yeah, cool, I'll just take care of the kids that you're supposed to be taking care of. She's awesome. And then, of course, towards the end of the film, she's got her knitting needle, she's got her coat hanger. That girl is not going down without a fight. She's also really
Mm.
smart. I love that bit. It's just a little moment, but when she runs into the main bedroom, how she opens the double doors to try and mislead Michael to think that she's gone out onto the balcony,
Right.
just little things like that. I mean, she is she's like one of the OG final girls. You know, she was one of the ones, I would say she is the one that helped cement the final girl trope. We obviously had some predecessors like Sally and Jess from Black Christmas, but you know,
Yeah.
Laurie was the one that came along and said, yeah, this is what a final girl is supposed to be. She is a definite 5 out of 5. She'd be higher. This 5 out of 5 system's starting to chafe, Night. You've got to
Wow.
let us give us more
I'm
than
a,
5 for some of these
I'm
categories.
I'm about to throw something at you. Stop with the look. 5 is the best. It's
Oh,
gonna
I know,
keep
I'm
everything
terrible.
even. I'm just messing with you. All right,
No, me too.
Coriander. How about you?
Yeah. Um, I love Lori. I mean, everybody knows she's like my girl crush, you know. She's got to get a 5.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Okay. Eric, how about you?
We've had many different, incarnations of Lori
That's
in
right.
this franchise, but specifically this one, I'm giving her a 5. And the
Ooh.
reason why it's not, it's, her protecting the kids is a major part of it, but even
Mm-hmm.
before that, she's just so damn likable. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I like, when it comes to characters. Like, she's relatable to me because she's kind of a bookworm. She's daydreaming in class, but then she knows the answer when she's called on it.
Mm-hmm.
She is definitely the mild of the 3 friends. You know what I mean? She
Mm-hmm.
just kind of, I mean, she wants to go out and date, but oh, she's stuck babysitting, but that's okay, type of thing.
That's
And
right.
even before Michael starts doing his thing, her relationship with Tommy is what I really like. You know what I mean? She's like
Mm-hmm.
that big sister to him. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And that always helps with the likability. When it's like Stephen King for a lesser extent. You get to know these characters, you get to love these characters. So then when they get put through hell, like she's going with Michael, that's when you really start to care about them.
Mm-hmm.
And like we've said many times with slasher films, sometimes they're just there for the body count. Sometimes you want them to die because they're so annoying. You know what I mean? This is a character you don't want to die.
Yeah.
You want her to pull through, even if it's by the skin of her teeth, which it is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it great because she's no one special. And what I mean by that is she's not Sarah Connor. She's not Ellen Ripley. She's a babysitter who's lucky to get a coat hanger and stick it in his eye. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's what I like because she's just an everyday person like us.
Okay.
And that's what makes her even more cool.
All right. For me, Lori has always been one of my favorite final girls. When I think about, my favorites, obviously, I talk about Lori, Sydney, and Nancy. But the thing about Laurie Strode, and it's no shade to anyone else, because you guys know I absolutely love, Heather Langenkamp's performance in Nightmare, and obviously Nev's performance in Scream. But the thing about Lori, she was so pure as a final girl, meaning that, she was intelligent, she was kind, she just kind of was a regular girl.
Hmm.
She didn't fight, she didn't do any elaborate things. She just survived. She found a way to survive. And just that rawness of how she's presented, I think, is what makes her stand out, even amongst the best final girls. And that includes Sally, who's fantastic. Jess is fantastic. The people the ladies I've named as well, fantastic. But Lori, she's just very special, almost a purity to it, which sounds weird, but this just came to my mind when we spun the wheel, and just what she does throughout the movie. When I think of a final girl, to me, this is probably one of the best definitions that I could come up with is Laurie Strode in Halloween 78, and to me, it's the best final girl, pure final girl that Jamie Lee Curtis ever did. Not saying she didn't have better performances, because she did, and that's a whole nother story, especially if you've seen our other streams on this debate series. But as far as just a pure final girl, this is the top. So I got to go with a 5 as well. Okay, in the chat, and we've got Rufus saying, "Are you guys a fan of Halloween 2?" Well, Rufus, I'm gonna tell you what. Check out my video that just came out today, and you're gonna get your answer. You will get your answer. Thank you for being here. We appreciate this. Saying a timeless classic. It is. Paul is saying I went with a 5. Okay. Nightfall is coming in officially with a 5. Okay, we got you down, man. Let's see. Philip going with a 5. Plant-based going with a 5. Earl going with a 5. Scott saying a 5 easily. First contact with the boogeyman, and she puts up one hell of a fight. Well said. Val coming in officially. Final girl. Lori went from a mousy girl to a standing up to the boogeyman. All right. Did you give it a score? Val, let me know.
You did a little bit.
If you really need to ask her
Yeah.
score.
Well, I just want to be fair because again, these scores, this is all official stuff. Like when
Right.
we put this down, it's truly a community effort. Julie saying Lori is a 5. Okay, we got you down officially, Julie. Elm Street coming in with a super chat. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you. A $5 super chat too, saying I like that. $5 for the babysitter. Okay, it's a 5. Okay, we're getting into battle world type of stuff here, Eric, right? You know, $5 for 5 points. Spoof saying best final girl. Okay, there we go, Val. Saying forgot to add my score. She's going officially with a 5. Okay. Thank you so much, Val. I appreciate you. Let's see. And Val, you're right. If you're a member of the movie fanatic level or higher, you will get your score added in. If you are not, it will not be official. And I can't get to everyone. So I'm just putting that out there. It is what it is, guys. But for you guys that are channel members, especially at that level and higher, I just wanted to do this as a perk to give you guys some really cool added value, especially to this series, which I think is going to be a lot of fun when we do the ranking. Thank you so much for explaining that, Val. May Ann's got the link for the Halloween 2 video. Thank you. Nightfall coming in with a super chat. Thank you so much. Saying for the best for the best channel of all time. Thanks for all the great content and always having an amazing panel. Thank you, man. We appreciate that. Seriously, we definitely try, and we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. So thank you so much for all the support. Thanks for being here in the chat. Thanks for leaving comments and all those types of things. So much appreciated. And he's going with a 5. Okay, let's do another super chat clip for all you guys that have been doing these super chats, which we truly appreciate, and it helps us to do more of these types of things and events and so forth. So, Eric, sometimes even the person that you looked up to for so long as a kid might do something that you just don't understand, and it looks like this.
Budweiser, you created a monster, and they call him Frankenstein. And the tavern down the street is the laboratory where he makes the transformation all the time.
There it is. That's just every time.
That's why Stallone pretty much stuck to drama and action and not musical.
Right. Yes. And also, hey, in the chat, we've got one of our newest channel members who also is at the movie fanatic level. So these scores will be official as well. So Gritter is in the house. Thank you for being here. Much appreciated, man. And thank you again for just supporting us with your generosity, saying, hey, everyone, Lori is definitely a 5. Okay, so Gritter, we're going to put that down as part of our official score. Again, if you're at the movie fanatics level or higher, I'm going to put your score down. And man, we probably have the most people scoring a film tonight. This is crazy. We got a lot of scoring, All right. Hey, we got Sunrise in the chat. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Let's see. Who else? We got Doob in the house. What's up, Doob?
Hey,
Good
Dennis.
to see you. Nightfall. Oh my God, that clip. I know,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Critter says it's still better than it's not in the file. I know you love that. That's so funny. Thanks, man. We appreciate you. Okay, let's go to our next category. We are moving. Coriander, this one will be for you. We're looking for our 7th scored category out of 10. Okay, all right, okay. Characters. Okay, so when we talk about characters, it's basically all of the characters in the film, Coriander. What do you think of the characters in this movie, and what's the score that you want to give them?
Okay, so some of these movies have characters that are, not so great.
Yes,
But this particular movie, and for me, like, if there's a shitty character, it could totally ruin a movie, like
that's true.
Nightmare
Mhm.
Part 2. But anyway, all I have to say for characters is I think that they're pretty good. I mean, the only thing I could pinpoint is like how often like is used, like by one particular character. But besides that, like I think I'll give it a 4. Yeah.
Okay, we're going with a 4. Okay,
Yeah.
Eric, how about you?
Uh, I'll give it a 4 as well. As much as I love PJ Souls, I know exactly what Coriander's talking. I
Told.
totally
Yeah,
understand what
totally. That's
Coriander's
it.
talking about.
Totally
Mhm.
shit. Oh, I said
But
like
that
good call.
notwithstanding, she's fine. Annie's fine. We've already praised Laurie and Loomis, a million times. I'm not a fan of Bob. I think he's a creeper. And there's
Right.
one scene in particular, if we get to
Yep.
the worst scene,
Mhm.
but and I think that deserves to have a point knocked off for personal reasons. But other than that, solid characters. 4.
Okay, we got a 4. Okay. Rachel, how about you?
Some great characters in here. Obviously, like we said, Laurie and Loomis are absolutely fantastic. But I'm kind of on board. Like again, PJ Souls, yeah, but Linda and Annie, and I know that they're supposed to be foils for Laurie. So they're supposed to be,
Mhm.
she's supposed to be the more girl next door, and they're supposed to be the more promiscuous, adventurous ones. But
Mhm.
both of them do irritate me just a little bit. And like I said, the whole let's just dump the kids that we're babysitting onto Laurie so we can run off and have, nookie with our boyfriends. It's like, come on, guys, like pull it
Mhm.
together. So I think because of them, it will lose just 1 point. But I do want to give a shout out though to the sheriff. I actually really like Sheriff
Bracket.
Brackett, and I really
Mhm.
Mhm.
like that even though you can tell that he thinks that Loomis is not all quite there, he still takes him seriously. He still says, okay, I'm going to listen to you. We're going to put guys on this. We'll do it. Like, he's not one of those dismissive cops that you often see in slasher films that are
Right.
like, oh, just go away. Like I said, you can
Right.
tell that he's humoring Loomis just a little bit, but he also does his job well enough that he knows that if he's wrong, then, there'll be shit, all hell to pay. So he knows enough. So I think the sheriff is a good character. We just wanted to give a little shout out to him. But I think 4 out of 5 for the characters as well, because I do think the characters like Bob, Linda, and Annie, they do bring it down just a little, even though it is kind of the point to make them more shallow characters. They're just not as enjoyable. But, Laurie, Loomis, Brackett, even Nurse Marion, all great characters. So that scores a 4 out of 5 for me.
Okay. You said 4 out of 5. Okay. Um, for me, yeah, I have to agree with a lot of what's being said. Here's the thing. Um, it's a lean film. It's not like we're talking about Shakespeare. And so the characters reflect that. They're babysitters. They're youngsters.
Mhm.
And they behave in a way that, yeah, okay, I understand it. But that being said, there is a little bit of shallowness there. And again, I love PJ Souls as well, but I mean Linda is just Linda. I think Annie, provides, Nancy Keys provides a little bit more oomph, in her
Mhm.
scene, more to do. So I think she was fine. But this is really about Lori and Loomis, and obviously Donald brings the average up big time. Just his scenes alone is just fantastic. We've talked about those types of things on the Battle World series. Brackett was great too. I agree with
Mhm.
that, Rachel. That's a good point. I think that Charles Cyphers was so charismatic in a role that doesn't usually have any shine, but he was great in it as a father and as a sheriff. So they had great moments too. But I have to agree with you guys. I'm gonna go with a 4 because I think that's fair. As great as Loomis was, as great as Laurie was, there isn't a lot to Linda, and it is a little bit more to Annie. But I think a 4 is fair for all the characters combined. So,
Yeah,
all right,
Brackett's great. One of the best scenes with Brackett doesn't even involve Loomis. I think one of the best scenes is when he's just talking to the girls through the car window. What I mean?
that's right.
He's a cop. He's not stupid. He knows they're causing some trouble. He can smell the
Yeah,
weed. He's just
Got a
letting them be.
nose.
yeah,
He's just letting them be fun. But he's just also being a dad. You know what I mean? That's
right.
what I like. He's like, okay, I could pull you over. You're gonna get in trouble when we get home. I'll let it slide, type of thing. You know that he knows,
Yep.
but he's so charming with it too. That's what I like about
Yep.
him.
Absolutely. Okay, in the chat, Julie is coming in. Official characters are a 4. Okay, wow, we're, we're in so much sync with this. Nightfall saying characters a 4. Totally. All right. Okay. Let's see. Amity, that's a great moment. Hey, Lonnie, get your ass out there. Love
That
it.
smile, that
The
afterwards.
smile was great. It looked like it
Yeah.
was so genuine, man.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, Donald was the type of person, when they said cut, he would usually say something off the wall, crack a joke. He was very eccentric, but funny and fun to be around. He didn't really hang around the actors,
Mhm.
but in those moments when he was there, just a fun person and also so professional. What a balance. And again, the soul of these films. Elm Street coming in with a 4.5 for the characters. Okay. And Val is coming in officially. Characters are totally a 4. You guys are funny. While you have great characters like Lori and Loomis, Linda and Bob, and even Annie just feel like filler characters and bring the score down a bit for me. Okay. So we got a 4 for you officially, Val. And then we've got Gritter coming in officially, saying, I'll give the characters a 4.5 as well. Okay. Very, very cool. So we've got you down officially as well, Gritter. All right. Let's go back to the wheel and let's see what we're going to get next. I'll be starting this topic off, and we're looking for the 8th category. We're almost there, guys. Oh, heck yeah, man. Listen. Oh, Lord. Sound design. And sound design is everything. It's the score, but it's also the sound design within the film. We talked famously about Resurrection, how when Michael would pull out the knife, it sounded like a sword. It's not like the sword of omens. Like, it's like, bro, come on, man. What are we doing here? I mean, the sound design was so whacked. Halloween 5 with the circus music, the Looney Tunes music with the cops.
Yeah.
Come on, what are we doing here, guys? You have none of that in 78. It's all good. The score alone, this is one to me is one of my favorite scores in any film, not just horror, any film. And it's as recognizable as any score I can think of. The only 2 scores that come to my mind that is as recognizable is Superman and Jaws. Okay.
Yeah.
So if
But
anyone
Friday
knows
the 13th.
well, Friday is
Come
great in its
on
own
now.
way too, but hold on, let me
But
finish. But
as recognizable, just saying.
listen, hold
Sorry.
on. I'm talking about it's like at a level that's, you know what I'm saying? Like I listen to this Halloween score every October. It is Halloween, not just the name of the movie for me. I lost my train of thought there, but this movie has great sound design all the way through, and I think that John Carpenter was able to do such great work. So I'm going with a 5. Okay, Eric, how about you?
Yeah, it's a 5. I mean, not just the score alone, which is iconic, but it's just
Mhm.
just simple things. The breathing, you know what I mean, that we hear at the
Yes.
end, or just little stings of music, like when Michael jumps on the hood of the car. You hear that little sting, and when he grabs the
Yeah.
nurse's face. Simple things like that.
Mhm.
Sound, even something simple like sound effects. When you hear the brake squealing, with the speed kills, you know what I mean? That
Yep.
adds to the fact, like, okay, well, you should have shut up. Now, whoever that creepy driver is pissed off. You know what I mean? It adds to it. Um, just fantastic choices all around, beginning to end. 5.
Okay. All right. Rachel, how about you?
Guys, the sound design for this is amazing. Like Knight said, the score is iconic. My husband, because he's a jerk, reminded me last night that when I first watched this movie and I was so scared by it, he downloaded the theme song and would play it randomly just to scare the crap out of me because he's lovely like that. So yeah, I absolutely love that theme. And I really love the way the movie plays with the theme. So sometimes the theme will be the fast piano that we know, and then it will kick in, with the rest of the instruments. But sometimes it'll just be that piano, or sometimes it will be the theme, but it'll be played in a slightly different key. They really have fun with that score. I also think the
Mhm.
soundscape is really good. I mentioned before the scene where Tommy is watching Michael carry Annie's body, and just the sound for that. It's not
Yeah.
music, but it's an atmospheric sound that just kind of sets you on edge a little bit. And I also really love, this might sound weird, but I love how the sound moves with the characters. So, for example, the opening
Yeah.
scene, because you're with little Michael, when you're watching, his sister and her boyfriend, you only hear the muffled sound of them making out. Again, with Annie in the car, when you move outside of the car, you only hear the muffled sound. I really like how they adjust the sound for the scene and you move with the characters, and it makes it that much more immersive. And
Mhm.
I've noticed there's this trend in recent horror films, actually it's probably been going on for about 10, 15 years, where speaking scenes are really quiet and then action scenes are really loud. So you're constantly having to adjust your volume.
Yeah.
This movie
Mm.
doesn't have that. This movie is, you can just watch it on the same volume, and the way the sound is designed and edited, it doesn't have that jarring effect. So yeah,
Mhm.
definitely 5 out of 5. I think everything that's done with this, like Eric said, some of the sound effects, like the brake
Mhm.
screeching, definitely. Oh, and I really like that you mentioned the musical stings, because I think they are
Mhm.
Yeah,
so effective in this movie. And that's
they
something
are.
that does get overused, especially in slasher films. But I think
Mhm.
in this one, it's so minimal and so effective, and it just works so well. Like the one that they use, like when he kills Bob, I think is a great one, things like
Yeah.
that. Definitely 5 out of 5 for sound design. It's just, it's fantastic.
Okay, Coriander, how about you?
Definitely a 5. Yep.
Okay. All right. And real quick too in the chat, we got Nightfall saying the sound design is 5. It's perfect. Okay, we've got you down officially. Alan is coming in with a 5. Val saying sound design, the score plays a big role in telling the story, so recognizable, and have to agree with all that Eric said as well. Okay. And Val, let us know if you're going with a 5. I think you are, but just so that I make sure I'm on the up and up. Julie saying the sound the sound design 5 5 5 5 5. Okay, very cool. Gritter saying sound design gets a 5 from me. Okay, so you are down officially as well. Let's see. Just want to make sure I got everyone here. We're at 59 likes, guys. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps us out. We'd appreciate it. Thank you for reminding us on that, Julie. And Val is going with a 5 officially. Okay, so we've got you down for a 5. All right. There we go. Let's go on to our next category. So the sound design is done. And we've only actually, no, I didn't take it off. If it lands on that again, let me just see if I can take it off here. Do. Yeah. Okay. So we've only got 5 spots left. We're looking for the 9th category. And Eric, you'll be starting this one off.
Okay.
Let's see what we get. Yeah, there it is. Listen, the mask, Eric. What do we think about this William Shatner mask used in 78?
Well, see, the fact that that we all know it's a William Shatner mask, that's what makes it a 5. Not just not for the fact that it's William Shatner, but the fact of what they did with it. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It's something
mm-hmm,
simple that they picked up out of a Halloween store, which makes it something that anybody could wear. And all they did was they painted it, and then I think they widened the eye holes a little bit.
mm-hmm,
And if this is and it goes with the story that we've heard, these blank eyes, expressionless evil that Michael is, you see nothing with that. And that's what's also great is, unlike H2O, we don't see his eyes in this one. You know what I mean? So
mm-hmm.
that makes it even more scary or creepy to a less extent. And it's one of the best looking masks of the franchise, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And the fact that what we could have been stuck with, like that weird clown mask, it makes all the difference as well. I love how this is something where he totally hides behind. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And and
Mm-hmm.
and, and the fact that we don't see his eyeballs is what I mean. It's very expressionless. There's no smiles. There's no
Right.
scowling. You know what I mean? It's just
Mm-hmm.
a blank slate. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
5.
I just want to jump in here and then Coriander, I'll get to you and then Rachel. The mask is so focal, right? if they didn't get this right, then
Yeah.
so much of it wouldn't have worked. And they
Wouldn't have
were
cared.
trying, right, and they had issues trying to figure out what they were going to use at first. A
Mhm.
clown mask, even a Captain Spock mask. It was a lot of different variations, but this is so simple yet so powerful, and it totally fits the mythology. It's so crazy how this works so well with the mythology. And like you were just saying, Eric, you just made a couple of points. There's no smile, there's no grimace, this and
Mhm.
that. And these are things we've seen in future movies, unfortunately. And that's why this one, you have to appreciate it, because they didn't even have money, but they were able to come up with a great mask. They figured out that was important. You know how things went down the road. We got Nick Cage in there, which was absolutely horrendous. There's so many horrendous masks in this franchise, that's why I get so passionate about it. Anytime we get a chance to talk about the mask, but this mask is perfect. It looks great. It's shot great. The way that Nick moves it, and everyone else that portrayed Michael as well, because other people did as well, like Tommy Lee Wallace and so forth. It's got to
Mhm.
be a 5. There's no doubt at all. Coriander, how about you? What do you think about the mask?
I think this mask it's the first time we've seen it, so we don't have any to compare it to technically,
Mhm.
but really
Right.
we do. But this is the best one. And then it gets, it gets jacked up in places here and there. And then in the
Right.
newer ones, thank God they get better. But yeah, for this one, I'm definitely going to give it a 5.
Okay. All right. Rachel, how about you? What do you think?
This is the original mask. This is before we went down the Botox road and the CGI road and the deranged witch mode and, all of the messed up
And not
masks
even
that we
wearing a
see.
mask. Hobo
Not even
Myers.
wearing
He didn't even
Hobo
wear the damn
Myers.
thing. Eric, you know it's true. He's like, put a mask on, boy. You're Michael Myers, not a hobo panhandling through
Oh dear.
Haddonfield.
So yes, I mean the amount of just messed up masks that we have had down the road. I'm with Eric. Anytime you can see his eyes, it just ruins the effect for me because
Yeah.
it just he's so much scarier when it's just those black holes, like Loomis says, the
Yep.
blackest eyes. And
That's right.
yes, I'm with Coriander. Thank God the later films finally, got the mask back. And I particularly love the 2018 mask because of all the history it has. But yeah, no, this mask, the way Castle wears it, the way, everyone who's playing Michael wears it, the someone mentioned, I think Julie mentioned earlier, the way they light this mask, so it really does look very effectively creepy. And just a personal thing, I tend to get very creeped out by masks. I don't like mimes. I don't like, masks at like kids' birthday parties. It's just a
Mhm.
thing with me. So this mask, oh yeah, this scared the crap out of me the first time I watched this movie. It was so effective. So 5 out of 5. I do love the fact that it's a William Shatner mask though, because that does kind of lessen the scare a little bit. Like find out that it's a Captain Kirk mask. It's like, okay, all right, we'll just put
There
that
you
away.
go. All right. Real quick too in the chat, Danielle saying, "I will say this on the mask: the killer makes the mask, not the mask makes the killer." So I say Michael wore the mask very well. Okay. Scott
Mhm.
going with a 5. Nightfall coming in officially saying the mask is a 5. Okay. Gritter coming in officially saying this is the OG mask in prestige condition. Definitely a 5. Well said. I like that. That was good. Prestige condition. Val coming in officially saying the mask is a 5. It is the best mask of the franchise. Emotionless, pale, able to truly pull off the blackest of eyes thing with this mask. Yeah, and it's true, man, because as much as I have fun with H2O, bro, I can see his eyes way too much, man. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, you need Visine, bro. When Lori kicked him in the nuts and his eyes popped open, I was like, this is not Michael. Come on, man. Don't do that. Do better. I mean, it's like you guys had all the money. I won't even get into it, but it's like when there was a bad mask in the franchise, and unfortunately that was quite a bit, that was very frustrating. Elm Street coming in officially saying 5. Okay. Julie coming in officially saying the mask is a perfect 5. Wow. Once again, we are unanimous. This is crazy. Wow. All right. Paul is saying that was a 5. Eric, it is not Team Hobo.
Yes, it is.
His education is going with a
Go with
5.
it.
All right. We're looking for our last category here. Rachel, you'll be starting us off on this talking point. We've got three possibilities. One is a talking point, which is the worst scene, but we got three possibilities for the 10th and final category. It could be the story, the it factor, or Michael Myers himself. You know,
Mm.
most of these streams have picked Michael Myers. So it's really interesting again how this all works out. So Rachel, let's see what we get. Here we go. Ooh, 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 did it go? It went. Wow. It barely crossed the line. It barely
So
crossed the
close.
line. Okay, so the it factor. So let me explain this, especially for you guys in the chat. The it factor, we're talking about overall the value of the film, you know, the entertainment of it, how much you enjoy it, the rewatchability of this film. That's what the it factor pretty much entails. So, with that being said, Rachel, what do you think about the it factor for Halloween 78? And what's the score? This will be our final scores, guys. What's the score that you want to give it?
This one is high for me. I mean, I love slashers. Slashers are my favorite subgenre of horror, and this is like the Cadillac of slashers. You know, this is like the slasher to end all slashers. Everything we've talked about so far in this stream adds to the it factor of this movie. The atmosphere, the movie, the final girl, Donald Pleasance running around, you know, being Michael Myers' hype man. And
Yes.
I think this film has a high rewatchability factor. I will admit there are other films in the franchise that I might rewatch more just because they're a little bit more recent. Like I do love the 2018 film. I do tend to watch that a lot. But this is my favorite film in that franchise. It's one of my top 10 favorite horror films of all time. Every time I watch it, I am just amazed how
Hmm.
good it is. And I know that sounds weird, but it is. It's just like every time I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, how is a film this good? How is a slasher film this effective and this good and just so well done? So yeah, it factor for me, 5 out of 5. Fantastic
Okay.
movie. First time I saw this, I think I've told this story, but I was so scared by this film. I literally could not look out my window at night because I was like, that dude is going to be on my corner, just staring me down and coming after me with a butcher's knife. No, thank you. So yeah, love this film. Love everything about it. Huge it factor for me. 5 out of
Okay.
5.
All right. Coriander, how about you?
I mean, this movie has been around for almost as old as I am. Well, actually, it's old. It is older than I am, but not by much. And it's so good, and the rewatchability of it is. I mean, I have to give it a 5 because
Okay.
I can watch it and watch it. You know, some movies you can do that, and this is one of those movies that I can do that. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Eric, how about you?
I'll give it a 4 for personal taste. I we've already praised how much praised everything that we could praise, and it is a damn good movie. But also the it factor you said was also rewatchability.
Hmm.
If I'm picking a Halloween movie, I'm not going to go straight for this one. As much
Hmm.
as I do enjoy it, I'll pick 4. I'll even
Hmm.
pick part 3 over this one when it comes to rewatchability, because sometimes I just watch them. I want to watch a movie just to have fun with it, and those two are more fun for me. You know what I mean? Whether
Hmm.
they're over the top or just some of the goofy shit that happens at both of those over this one. Like I said with Halloween 2, sometimes you got to be in the right mood. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And for this one, I got to be in the right mood. I got to be in the mood to sit down for something scary or spooky. And I'm not, as much as I love horror, I'm not always in that mood. So I'll give it a
Hmm.
solid 4 for as good as it is, but I'm not always going to rewatch or go to it for rewatchability.
Okay. All right. For me, when we talk about it factor, the entertainment of this film, what the film means because of what it is and the rewatchability. I mean, listen, guys, I watch this movie every year. There's a reason I do that. It's one of a handful of films that I do that, and I rewatch a lot of movies. This is one that always is on the list yearly, and sometimes, and Coriander can attest to this, sometimes more than yearly. That's because I enjoy it so much. It's very enjoyable for me from A to Z. It's just so well done. It's funny, I've watched this movie since I was a little kid, and this is decades. And even within the last couple years, and even when I did my Halloween 2 video today that I uploaded, I'm still learning some things about this damn movie. This damn movie is going to be 50 years old soon. And so that says a lot about it. The lightning in the bottle that was a piece of this from everyone, John and Deborah Hill. Again, and shout out to Deborah Hill, rest in peace to Deborah Hill, because there's a lot of great things that she brought to this. And it's been said by so many people, including John Carpenter, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tommy Lee Wallace, and people involved with the film. But that's what I'm saying. You had so many talented people, and this film is just fantastic. There's no doubt that I cannot give it anything less than 5. It's got to be a 5. It's got to be a 5. It's just fantastic for me. So that is my score for the It Factor. Okay, in the chat, Julie's coming in saying the amount of eye exposure and H2O was crazy. It was way. Jeez, just thinking about it is like, get out of here, man. Jerry's in the house. What's going on, Jerry? Good to have you here. Hope you're doing well. We got the mysterious shadow in the house. Welcome to the chat. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. Saying the 78 movie was the best, so it's so very rewatchable. Yes, I agree. Welcome. And by the way, if you guys haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps us out. We've had a lot of people here tonight, and so we'd really appreciate the support. Gritter coming in officially. It Factor's a 5. The film's one of the greatest classics. The only thing better is The Thing. See what I did there? Also from Carpenter. I hear you. Thank you so much, man. Paul is coming in with a 5. Mysterious Shadow saying 78 is a 5 all the way. Scott saying the It Factor is a 5. So many reasons. This is my favorite horror movie ever. I don't know where to begin. It's a perfect film, right up there with The Godfather and The Shawshank Redemption. There you go. All right.
Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, that's one of those movies that, oh my God, if it's ever on like cable, I'm watching it. It's like always watching it. Yeah.
Agreed. Val coming in officially saying It Factor's 5. Being a kid when this movie came out, I remember all the talk, how scared it made people back then was something that wasn't in the minds of society back then. It drew people in. Okay, thank you, Val. You are officially down Zeducation with a 5. Elm Street coming in officially saying the It Factor is a 5. I love this film. Okay, Elm Street is down officially. Let's see. Nightfall coming in officially saying It Factor. I'll go with a 5. Looking at what this film is to the holiday and to the horror genre makes it, to me, the most important horror film of all time. This movie is it. Wow. Well said. So we have you down officially with a 5 as well. Okay. And Hollywood Guy is in the house. What's going on? Hope you're doing well, man. If you just got here, this has been a lot of fun. You got to check out the replay. Julie, I don't know if you've put down your score. I don't see it, but if you did, please throw it in there so I can get that down officially. So, guys, we've gone through 10 categories. We went through the kills, the directing, the mythology, the cinematography, the atmosphere, the final girl, the characters, the sound design, the mask, and the It Factor. And we have scored all of them. This is the final film and Julie's got a 5. Thank you so much. And this is the final one in the series. So from here on out, man, it's me tallying up these scores. I think it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. It really is.
I just wanted to say a big shout out tonight. Thank you so much for organizing this whole battle with all of the movies. It was such a big undertaking, so much work on your end, and just wanted to say thanks for letting me join some of these panels. They have been so much fun, and I've watched all of the other ones I haven't been on the panel. It's been great. I cannot wait to see the final score. So big shout out to you for organizing this. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Yeah, this has been a lot. I've been so excited to do this and have it work out the way it has. It's been so much fun. Coriander and I, we talk about this a lot. It's a fun series because it seems like people are having fun, and it's been great to have these panels with all of you guys here. Shout out to all the folks that have been on the panels, and also a shout out to the folks in the live chats that have been there giving their takes and their scores as well. That makes a difference, as we know. Eric, you know that. Coriander, you know that. For Battle World, that's part of the fun of doing that, is having the audience interaction, and I was hoping that it would be some good interaction. But let me tell you guys what we're going to do with this, though. We are going to have a reveal stream, and that reveal stream, I have not put it up yet because I'm still working on a couple of things. There might be a couple of big surprises that I'm trying to make happen. Like, it could really be cool. Either way, it's going to be cool. But you know me, I try to make these things as much. I just want to make these things fun, guys. You know, like when I look back at different things that we've done on this channel, I really feel, you know, pretty proud of what we're able to do as a community and as a channel. You know, Coriander, myself, Kill, Eric's with us quite a bit too. So we're going to reveal this step by step, all 13 films. There's going to be audience interaction. There's going to be channel member interaction, and there will be a giveaway. So that's all I'm gonna throw out. That's all I'm going to throw out. So for all of you guys here, we got 57 people here. We had 62, 63. I know a lot of you guys are new. Definitely check out this series, become a part of this community, because this is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's the way, at least, and Eric, you know this, I talk about this a lot to you as well with Coriander, but in my mind, what I'm trying to make happen, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've never seen it done before. And that's the other thing too. We want to do things as different as we can. You know, people can do what we do afterwards, and we see it. But I really pride myself on trying to do things a bit different and putting forth that extra effort. So keep a lookout, guys. We're hoping to do the reveal stream hopefully within the next 2 weeks or less. So keep your eyes open for people that are channel members or frequent the channel a lot. Keep a lookout for upcoming streams. Channel members, Patreon members, keep track of the community tab and Patreon, social media as well. I'm going to let you guys know first when the date is solidified. There's like 2 things holding up a possible date. So that's why I don't want to say what the date is, but I'm really trying to pull off something that I think is going to be really cool. We've had a lot of great, you know, surprises and fun so far, and I wanted to end it with that as well, if we can. So anyways, that's it, guys. Thank you so much, guys on the panel. Thank you guys for doing this. This was fun. I knew it would be. Great conversation, great points made by all 3 of you as well. That's what's a lot of fun to me too. When I rewatch these, it's always, you know, nice to hear those types of things, because I'm so geeky about especially something like Halloween or Friday the 13th, you know.
We're all geeks here.
Yeah. Right.
Some more than others. No.
There you go. Yeah.
If we weren't geeks, we would have our own channels. We wouldn't be doing this as long as we've been doing it for as many times. So
that's right.
Remember, it's a lot different than high school. Geeks are cool now. So
that's right. We won.
That's right.
We won, right?
So
yeah. Val saying these debates have been a blast. Thank you so much, Val, for all that you do. All the mods, Julie, May, Sarah, all of you guys. Thank you so much for the help. This really helps me so much to be able to kind of keep this as smooth as we can. We also have the playlist. Again, I think Education was talking about Halloween 4 earlier. We've done all of the films now. So check out the playlist. That also helps out the channel. It's a great way to help out the channel. If you're on long drives like me, I take a long drive every week, and that's a lot of time when I'm, you know, listening to stuff. You know, this is really fun stuff to hopefully listen to. So don't forget to the like button. It helps us out. Make sure you guys subscribe to Rachel and Eric. We've had their links in the chat. The links are also in the description. So make sure you go and support them. We got Matt in the house. What's up, man? Saying I missed all of you that I've called friends in the past. Things are more normal now. Hey, man, hope you've been doing well, man. Thanks for being here. Seriously. Let's see. Mysterious Shadow saying should start touching on the upcoming TV series. Should it be something totally new? I have done that. Check out my Halloween playlist. I have talked about the different news that we've had about the TV series and what I think we should get and so forth. I'll definitely be covering it as more information comes out as well, but definitely check out the Halloween playlist. I don't even know how many videos I have in that playlist. It's absolutely crazy. So it is what It is what it is. All right, guys. So we will catch you guys later. As always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.
Cheers.
Okay.